It will work the same whether you have a car or a standard pickup truck. We're always going to have three pedals. The left one is the clutch, the middle one is the brake, and the one on the right is the accelerator. To use the clutch, we always use the left foot. To use the accelerator and the brake, we will use the right foot because with one we press the clutch and with the other one we accelerate or we brake. We push the clutch and it opens. We release it and it closes. We have to hold it in order to open and increase the speed. Once we do it, we release it and it closes. If we press it slowly, it opens slowly. If we release it slowly, it goes gradually. Now let's go to the gear lever. In this car we have 5 speeds and a reverse. Almost all cars and trucks have 5 speeds, which will be the first, second, third, fourth and fifth. Now we are going only to focus on the first and second speeds. Now I'm in what people call dead center or neutral. Look, the lever needs to be moved from left to right. I want you to notice how the lever should be moved. If I push it to the left and let it go, it goes in the middle. If I push it to the right and release it, it stays in the middle. In the middle, we are talking about what is in the third and fourth speeds. In this direction, the third and the fourth speed. When it stays at that point and I push it forward, it's the third speed, and backward is the fourth. When the gear lever is on, we can't longer move it from left to right because we are in the fourth speed right now. So we move it again and we are already in neutral. So it lets me move from left to right.
As I told you, we will only focus on the first and second gear. I push it to the left and then I'm in the first and second gear. If I push it forward, it is first gear. And if I push it backward, it is the second gear. Something that happened to me when I started to drive is that I thought I was in first gear, but I really was in the third gear because, as I told you, it goes back like that and you tend to get confused. I only had the gear lever forward and it was third. I just have to push it to the left to be in the direction of the first and second, and I push it forward to get in the first gear. For that reason, always make sure to move it to the left. From there, I release it and it goes in the middle again. As I had already told you, third and fourth gear. So I recommend, with the car off, push it to the left and practice first and second gear. Release third and fourth gear. Practice these moves again. First, second, third and fourth. The car is always going to start in the first gear, so as beginners we're just going to start in first gear. It can be started in second gear, but this is when you have more driving experience. We're just going to focus on first gear now. Whenever your car or pickup truck is in neutral, use the handbrake. We will have it here, and here I have it on. Some pickup trucks have the handbrake next to the clutch on the left. That's a handbrake. We press it with our foot and it activates. We pull a lever to deactivate it, or if you don't have this lever, we push that foot brake once again and we can deactivate it. There are also electronic handbrakes as in this picture. You pull the button and it activates, you pull it back and it deactivates, or when you press it. In the cars, we will always have it here. We only pull it and it's activated. To deactivate it, we press the button, pull and release, and it's already deactivated. Or we can also press the button to do it correctly. We just pull and release and that's it. To deactivate it, we press the button, put it back, and we can deactivate it. As I say, we are in neutral, the car is in neutral, and without the handbrake, the car can move whether you are going up or down. The car can go forward or backward. It is necessary to practice on a horizontal surface. The car where I am right now is in neutral without the handbrake because I am on a horizontal surface. Be careful with that. When activating the handbrake, a light will turn on automatically. This light turns off until we release the handbrake. And to put the car in reverse, we pull this button up because look, if I push there, it doesn't happen anything. But when I push and pull the button, it already moves towards me, and I push and the car is in reverse. Some cars do not have this button, they only have the lever. Press it down and the car is in reverse. Sometimes reverse comes down from fifth gear. So if you want to turn on the car, please always start it in neutral with your handbrake on. Now, if you want to turn on the car, we will have 3 steps.
Step number 1, 2, and 3. We insert the key. At this moment, it didn't happen anything. In the second step, the car is scanned to see if the stereo turned on and the locks were on. And now let's go to the third step, which will be like this, but the car is not turned on. And if you look at the key, it returns by itself. It's a spring. The third step, the key returns by itself. We have to fully press the clutch. When you turn on the car, release the clutch, and that's it. Be careful because sometimes when the car is on moving forward, it's possible to hear a very annoying noise. At least in this car you don't have this problem because the car is protected. However, some cars do it. Be careful. That's why when starting the car, because if it starts and we continue to push forward, the annoying noise will continue to be heard. The clutch is a system to prevent children from turning off the car. If you start the car in first gear, the car will turn off. To turn off the car, move back, but the key is not released because we have to turn it all the way back. At that moment, release the key, so we need to turn it. Turn the key and release it. Now we will turn the car on in first gear. At this speed, we turn the key. It is always recommended that when we turn the key, we wait for the lights to turn on for about 10 seconds so that the complete scan is carried out. Turn the key completely, go to the next step. And I know that it is normal that sometimes you are in a hurry and you don't wait for the whole scan to be done. So you turn on the car. Well, the car is in first gear. I press the clutch and I turn it. Now the car is on, the car is in first gear and nothing will happen, obviously, because I have the clutch being pushed. It's like the car is in neutral, but it's currently in first gear. And this happened to some people, so don't worry about it. Look, I'm gonna take out the clutch thinking it's neutral. I'm going to stop pressing it quickly. Just right there, the car turned off, and then an annoying noise is heard because the car made a very sudden movement. There, we were in first gear, so please, you should always turn on the car in neutral.
Some cars turn on without the start button, so we press this button and the car turns on. It almost always happens with many automatic vehicles. Now, with the car running, step on the clutch and move the gear lever to the left and put the first gear. We haven't released the clutch yet.
At this moment, the car is in the first gear. I already released the handbrake and I'm stepping on the foot brake. If I stop pressing the foot brake, the car won't move because I'm on a horizontal surface. I'm just pressing the clutch. The car is still in the first gear. That is what you have to practice with the left foot. Let's release the clutch slowly. What if you guys want to release the clutch and do it too fast? The car will turn off. Look. If you do this by quickly releasing the clutch, the car will make a jerky motion and then shut off because I released the clutch too fast. It happened to me very often because, as I told you, I always started in the third gear and now we are in the first gear, but I released the clutch very quickly now. Now, let's try it again and go to neutral. Let's turn on the car again. Press the clutch and move the gear lever to the left. We go to the first gear. Now we will do the same, but very slowly. Look at the clutch. I'm taking it out slowly. The car here is already starting to move. I haven't fully removed the clutch yet. If I do it, the car won't stop anymore. Look, if I want to stop the car, it makes a jerky motion. It happens because we do not step on the clutch and we are in the first gear. Whenever you stop the car in a gear without going into neutral, it will shut off. If you don't go to neutral, we press the clutch fully in first gear and braking, so the car can be stopped and it will not turn off. Let's try it. We are on a horizontal surface one more time. We will move the gear lever to the left. It's the first gear. After that, we release the clutch slowly. Here, the car starts to move. I haven't released the clutch yet and the car is already starting to move. I release the clutch. Now let's stop the car. We fully pressed the clutch and the car already braked and it didn't turn off. There the car is on and look, it is still in the first gear. At this moment the car is with the brake and the clutch on. Now the brake can be released because the car is on a horizontal surface and therefore it doesn't move. I'm just stepping the clutch because the car is in first gear. If I want to release the clutch, I go to neutral, I release it, and that's it. Our clutches are different. There are cars that will start working higher up, others lower down. It depends. For example, look, I will release the clutch. I start to move my left foot. The car hasn't moved yet. Nothing has happened yet. It means that if the clutch is in this position, it will not work. But when I finally take my foot off the clutch properly, the car is already starting to move. So only practice this driving exercise on a horizontal surface, only in first gear, and do it. Release the clutch, step on the clutch, and stop, and so on, so that you can get used to the clutch of your car. There is a more difficult way to turn on the car, which is clutch and accelerate. We press the clutch and we accelerate. This is to start the car faster, but I will explain this movement in the following video. And in the description of this video, I'm going to share you a following video so you can watch it, in which I will explain everything step by step and slowly. The video will last longer, but I will explain everything step by step.